virtual experiences as the crowd emojis wildly. Let us see those emojis. You can clap too. It's okay. We are streaming this panel to you completely free and completely live to the comfort and safety of your home, bringing that Comic-Con life to your very own household, to your family, your friends, or yourself. My name is Mike G. I'm your regular host and director of programming here at Wizard World Virtual Cons. We're very excited. We've been doing some really fun and amazing panels each and every weekend, Thursday through Sunday. But then every Wednesday night, we have a Wizard World Rewatch party. That's right, Wizard World Rewatch Wednesday. A bunch of W's, where we take a look back at one of our favorite panels from the past weekend, some of our favorite clips, and we bring out all of your favorite nerds, podcasters, bloggers, YouTubers. They all come onto this virtual stage with me. We all hang out and just nerd out about our favorite properties. Tonight's Wizard World Rewatch Wednesday panel is the Power Rangers villains panel from over the weekend. So shout out in the comments right now. I'm watching all of the people tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Caleb just said, go Power Rangers. Christine said, oh, this isn't live. It's okay, Christine, because guess what? All of our videos live in our archive. So you can go back to our video section on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube and rewatch that full video. But we're going to watch a bunch of the clips and our favorite things today in an effort to let you know that while the panel is over and happened this past weekend, you can still take advantage of paid experiences with your favorite Power Ranger villain. This Saturday, they are going to be doing one-on-one chats. That's right. You can pay to hang out with your favorite Power Ranger villain or all 10 of them or 8 of them. How many were there? We're going to check with Malcolm in a sec. In a live Zoom room. They're also doing video recorded messages and autographs. So thanks for hanging out. Christine says, I blame work and finals. Please, everybody's got crazy stuff going on, but we try to keep everything live and also pre-recorded for you to check out in the future. Let's bring out our panelists for tonight. But in the meantime, while we're bringing out those panelists, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, put what state or country you are watching from. Let us know where you're watching from. One of our favorite things about these virtual experiences is that we're connecting with folks around the world. So let us know where you're watching from, and let's bring out our panelists for tonight. You know him. You know this next gentleman. He is a longtime moderator and artist with Wizard World Physical Conventions and has also joined us numerous times for numerous panels. He was most recently seen moderating the Cabin Fever panel this past weekend. He is from You Create Comics and Vantage In-House Productions. Please give it up for the hardest working man in comic books, for Victor Danbridge.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
What's up, Victor? How's it
going
going?
On? Oh my God, fantastic!
Thank you for joining us. I love the. I don't think I've seen your new symbol.
Yeah, man.
Jewelry.
Thank you. This is my Vantage In-House piece. Shout out to Wizard World Tulsa. I actually got this from a fan at Wizard World Tulsa.
Someone made that for you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Who is also another huge Power Ranger fan. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I loved Tulsa. I didn't know what to expect in Tulsa in terms of the people and like the ambiance of like what and Oklahoma City and OKC. There were some rad people there and we had a great time.
It's mad awesome. Shout out to Tim Pace and Sam and everybody for this one.
That's awesome. All right, let's keep it going, and I'm going to shout out where everyone is hanging out from. This gentleman just was watching one of our experiences, and this is what cons are all about. We can't wait to get back to our physical conventions, but my favorite part about being there is all the connections that you make in each city when you go around across the country, just nerds and geeks coming together, and that's what kind of happened here. He was watching one of our panels. He reached out. He came on for our Land of the Lost rewatch, and now he's going to be on every rewatch I can have him on. We're super excited to have him here. He's from the nostalgic PODBLAST, Fistful Radio show. Give it up for Chance Bartel.
Hey, everybody, what's going on?
Yo.
That's awesome. Goldar. Oh, man, we got some Goldar coming up, everybody. Martin Fascio has a beautiful emoji that you guys all can't see. It's not even an emoji. It's more of like a PNG of the Pink Ranger and the Green Ranger just embracing. I wish you could see this, but it's pretty awesome. Chance, thanks for being here. Second rewatch party. Glad to have you back. Loved having you on Land of the Lost, and can't wait to chat a little bit about Power Rangers and your nerdom over that.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Tell Victor, we talked about this last time, but tell Victor, you know what those stacks are behind him,
right? God, yes. Are they long or short boxes? What do you got?
Long boxes.
Yeah, that's a collection, sir. That is a collection.
Big Marvel collector for years and years, and I just love Marvel comics and all the artwork. John Buscema, Neil Adams, the classics,
Oh,
and the modern stuff.
Okay, see, we just became best friends, Chance. That just happened.
All right, Victor.
I love it.
I knew it happened. I knew it happened once you saw all of his boxes back there. All right, and last but not least, he moderated the Power Ranger villains panel. This gentleman came to us. Oh my gosh, he's gonna have to remind me what city we were in a second. Shout it out, Malcolm. Where did we meet again? Which city?
New Orleans.
New Orleans, or Orleans.
Yes.
He came out and did a bunch of nerd panels for us in New Orleans, New Orleans. We loved him so much that we invited him back. He's done like how to become a YouTuber panel. He's a giant Power Rangers fan, and we're so excited that he moderated his very first panel this last week in the Power Rangers villain panel. He's from Fandoms Anonymous. Please give it up for Malcolm T. Banks.
Hey.
There he is.
Yeah, that's right.
This isn't Narnia. What's up, guys? What's up?
We did. I remember Malcolm from New Orleans, and then he did a YouTuber. He again just stayed with it, kept bothering me, kept pestering me, and I was like, we got to get you on. No, but that's how you do it. We got to get you on for how to do a YouTube panel. They crushed it, and he had all of his gear in the back, and so in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, this guy's gonna be great for a Power Ranger panel.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I stole a couple from him to start. I know we did Time Force, we did Lost Galaxy, and then Villains came up, and he was like, get me on this.
He's
Mike,
like,
I want to
if
be
you
on
take
this.
villains, I'm fighting you. Like that's just what it is. I'm not mad at it.
We have folks in the chat right now. They are watching from New Jersey, from Wisconsin, Arizona in the house. Jonathan Williams say long boxes, you say, and it has the double eye emoji. So
shout out to my brother Jonathan.
There we go.
Christine is watching from Milwaukee. Christine, Malcolm, Christine asked, was that the Green Ranger's flute dagger you had there?
Yeah.
Why, yes.
Come on now.
Apparently, I took the batteries out of this to put in the remote, so I ruined that appearance. So
No. You just didn't want to call the Dragon Zord accidentally, and that would just ruin the whole rewatch.
Would have came
That
down.
you'll never get your
Gotta be
deposit
safe.
back. You do that, man. That's
Gotta be safe, man.
Exactly.
Gotta be safe.
Exactly.
Paid a lot to get this deposit.
Y'all, this panel, and this is specifically for Christine, because Christine is so bummed that they missed out on the live panel this week. I'm telling you, go back and watch it. We're gonna watch some clips tonight.
That's right.
Malcolm just had a great entrance here, but each one of them came in with our villains came in with a catchphrase and their line from the series, except for Melody, who I think was just like, oh, I didn't know we were performing here. We love Melody Perkins. We love Astronema.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah,
Because
go for it.
Mike, you gave me the opportunity to host it, but I didn't know my childhood would be burning like a flame behind me while they were doing that. Because I had to stay professional. I had to hear these voices, and I was like, all right, yeah. But in the instant, I was like, oh my God.
That was like Victor on that.
No.
Victor, tell him about the X-Men panel.
That is so real. That is so real. Because when I did the X-Men voice cast, and they're coming in, and
I'd have been crying.
when Lenore was like, "Hey, Sugar," and I'm like, "Oh my God, Rogue just called me Sugar." Okay.
I think what did it for me was when Paul Freeman did the voice in the Ivan News, and I had to still sit here and be like,
that is very well done, sir. Yeah, no, I would have heart just beating in my chest. No way.
Paul Freeman as Ivan was so crazy too, because he came out, he was such an iconic character, but you had no idea that it was the same guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark for like a long time. You know what I mean? Yeah, there it is. There it is.
You go.
Yes.
Represent.
Nice. And Raiders is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Mhm.
And Power Rangers, again, like in terms of that season, in terms of the Mighty Morphin and then the first movie, I was like a tiny bit too old, but my brother was super into them. And so I watched everything through him. And anytime a movie comes out, I'm like, I'm
Too
into it.
old, he says.
Yeah, never too old.
Never too old. I know. I came back to reality. Yeah, go for a chance.
I wanted to ask Paul Freeman, what did it feel like had that fly in his mouth? You know what I'm talking about? Towards the end of the movie, a fly literally flies in his mouth when Indy's going to blow up the Ark with a bazooka.
That's right. That's for the deep fans. That's a deep
That's
sea
the deep
fan.
cuts.
Yeah.
Well, we had, again, if you missed it, like Christine, and I hate to keep rubbing it in Christine, but Christine is talking a ton, which is awesome. And yeah, keep commenting, keep shouting out your favorite seasons, because we had people and villains from like almost 7 to 8 seasons.
Just about the whole Saban era, basically.
Yeah, right. The whole beginning, we had Barbara Goodson, who's Rita, obviously, and Kerrigan, who was Goldar. So we had that first crew. We had Paul Freeman as Ivan Ooze, was on the panel, and then we go Divatox, Hillary Shepard as Divatox. We then have Diane Salinger as Queen Bashira, Melody Perkins as Astronema, again, fan favorite, Ilya as Master Org, and then Vernon Wells as Rancic, and another like beloved year of Time Force. And who am I missing? I think that's it. Yeah, so I mean, we spanned the generations. Tell us your favorite season. Granum's 01 said, I love all the seasons. And I know that's...
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
But Christine said, In Space is my favorite, and second is Time Force. So Christine, Melody Perkins is your goddess right there. She was obviously a villain in Space, and then became Corone in Time Force.
Lost Galaxy. I'm sorry, I can't let you do that.
Look, the man comes through. He knows his stuff. You know, that. Hold on now.
Oh, I said Time Force. Second is Time Force. Sorry, my bad. You're right. Rancic was Time Force. Time Force. Yeah. Also a great season. Malcolm, really quick, let's go around the room really quick, and then I want to watch some of these clips. I want to hear a little bit about all yours fandom, how you sort of were first introduced to Power Rangers, and how that kind of grew. Malcolm, you kick it off.
It was the year 1993 when the TV came on. But no, for real, man. Just childhood. You know, I didn't have cable growing up, so anything that came on regular TV was perfect. You know, that's why I can still watch PBS at the age of 30 and not complain. But man, childhood, just watching Power Rangers, and I still watch to this day. Not as heavily like, you know, these newer seasons. There's so much to keep up with and doing what I do here. So I just go watch the important episodes or like the last 5 episodes of the season. Like, oh yeah, that was a great season. But yeah, man, I grew up and am still growing with Power Rangers. So like you could have to tell me that I would be doing what I'm doing and then interviewing people like JDF and got signed, you know.
That's awesome.
You can't beat it, man. You can't beat it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Victor, how about you? Coming in, you're obviously a big fan of all things nerd,
yes,
specifically comics. But what about the show of Power Rangers?
I was an original Power Rangers hater because I grew up. Okay, so I was born in '82, so I'm of the first generation of Voltron, right? So I know, right? Like that was me. I'm not going front. That was
I do have a Voltron action figure.
Okay. But
it was Voltron too, Victor. We have the same reaction to early seasons of Power Rangers.
It's so true. We had a misgiving, but everything changed with the introduction of Tommy and the Green Ranger. Like the Dragon Zord, everything about that is my era of Power Rangers. Because my sister, who is like 8-9 years younger than I am, she got into it and she kept watching it. And so, like, you know, I had to watch it like Mike did. And it was when they introduced Tommy that I was like, because the idea of an evil ranger, I was like, this is where it's at. Like, that's what I want to see. And then for him to make the transition into the team, it was perfect. So yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is always going to be my jam. But specifically when the Green Ranger comes in, that's me all day.
That was like some of the most electrifying 5 episodes of TV.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Then they did it.
Yes, it was.
Made it even more scary.
Yes, it was.
Wouldn't have you ever seen a man come in your Megazord and knock on your
beat you down? He kicked you out.
Hey,
out your own ride. You got carjacked out of Megazord. What?
A Megazord. Not a Kia Soul. A Megazord.
Come on. That's real.
A lot of people shout out their favorite seasons. Deborah says MMPR, obviously. But then also, Dino Thunder? I haven't seen a lot of Dino Thunder.
Dino Thunder.
Dino Thunder's good.
Yeah.
I think you get Dragon Fury in there, or Jungle Fury. I mean,
Jungle Fury was good at the end.
Chance, tell us. We nerded out just via email on what you feel like. Forget Voltron. Let's go pre-Voltron now. Chance, take us all the way back to the original Power Rangers and horror that had led to your fandom.
Well, obviously, I'm the oldest dude in the room. I'm an old fart, so I remember watching on TBS Superstation a show called The Space Giants.
Yes.
Rockets, man. It's a homework assignment to the younger viewers out there. Look up The Space Giants. It was produced in the 60s in Japan, called Ambassador Magma. This dude's a 50-foot tall robot that transforms into a rocket. And this guy here is Rodak attempting to take over the Earth, and he sends monster after monster after monster to conquer the Earth, as well as Lugo Men. And then you had Ultraman as well in the 1960s. This is old school.
I love that.
And so what I like about the Power Rangers, it's obviously the best of the Japanese live action shows, but I liked that it was a true collaboration. North America and Japan together. It wasn't just a translation like the old shows like Spectreman, Ultraman, and my beloved Space Giants, but they took it to another level. And I love Lost Galaxy. And I like that Goldar got a shout out as a major villain right from the get-go with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's right.
Yeah. And it was great. And Malcolm did a great job interviewing everybody. I love that panel. You guys do a great job. And our show, got to do a shameless plug, Nostalgic PODBLAST. We talk about all this stuff, and it's not about us. Nobody gives a damn about me. It's about the content and the clips.
That's real.
And if you can see behind me, there's a bunch of film reels.
Oh my God, you have like a library, sir.
That's part of it. And so we have transferred a lot of this stuff. It's stuff you can't find on YouTube, exclusive clips. So I love Power Rangers. I love the movies, and I love the vibe. They kept that monster smashing, rubber monster smashing vibe alive.
Yes. Chance, what part of the country are you in?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yo, next time I'm down there, I'm coming to hang out with you. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
You're welcome anytime, Victor.
Let's go.
I'm 2 hours away. Let's go.
We'll be down there, baby. Ain't nothing but a word.
Yeah.
I'm together like a Power Ranger troop. We will.
Get it. Let's get it.
An ATL and New Orleans trip to just nerd out on Power Rangers. I'm down.
Absolutely.
Come on, Mike. You come swoop me and we'll write down. Come on.
Chance, I'll see you in March, Chance, for the Power Ranger event. Yeah, it's going.
Oh my God.
All right.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's Kristen goes, sorry, I'm talking a lot. It's quarantine. I'm like, no, this is what it's all
we
about.
want that.
Hey, we would be doing this
Kristen.
normally on the show floor somewhere, and so this is the best opportunity we got. So we appreciate you all for being here. But that's what it's all about. And is I like what you said, Chance, about the collaboration, because I remember as like again a young person interested in film and TV, being very conscious and aware of the fact that like that they were using footage. It was sort of the first experience of like anime kind of too. I know that's like, it's not anime obviously, but it was that first exposure to the Japanese culture and Japanese film. And that I was like, oh, we didn't film this. They filmed it and we're dubbing it. And it was my first experience with dubbing. And I was like, this is cool. And trying to figure out when it split, like when the footage went from the Japanese footage to like the Americans, you know what I mean? Like in it, obviously it was very obvious when they were in the school, when it was like Saved by the Bell, and then it would transfer to like the streets of Japan. But
about that, and it's gonna sound bad, but I didn't have internet until like later on in life in my household. So you know me, I'm watching Power Rangers all my life. I'm like, yeah, Power Rangers, best thing ever invented in America. And then it was like 2009, 2010, I got internet in my house. Now you can't look up everything at the library. So I'm just Googling, I'm Super Sentai, what is this?
Yeah, man.
I click and I was like,
they ripped off Power Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. What is this? What is this? And I was like, this came out in 1991. We got it in 93, and then I just went on the Super Sentai train all the way down. And I was like, oh, no wonder our show is like this, because they do evil stuff.
Yeah, they had Super Sentai has been around. I mean, literally that as a genre. Yeah, I was gonna say it beats Voltron. So that's really what actually helped me kill my Power Ranger disdain, was recognizing that form of stuff actually came out before Voltron did. So I can't even be like, oh, it's a ripoff of Voltron. Cool.
That's my silver bullet in the Power Rangers Voltron argument.
I like it. I like that. Hey, bow. It's a kill shot. I like it.
Excited for that. I don't want to start a whole new conversation, but we got a Pacific Rim animated series coming out too. Soon. But anyway, let's get. I know. I just sparked a whole new thing. Let's get to some of these clips, because again, a bunch of these fans might have seen this and are just hanging out, but some of them haven't seen some of these clips. Again, we had some of the best villains from the whole Power Rangers franchise on this past weekend with Malcolm. The first thing that came up a little bit was just about the importance of villains in Power Rangers. Malcolm, I'm going to misquote you, and then I'd love for you to say it again. Just about if you didn't have villains, you just have a bunch of kids in colorful suits bouncing around all over the place.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, and I thought that was a great. I thought that was a great quote that you said, and that was his lead in to chatting with the actual villains of like how important they are. They really color the each series and each year. So here's a few of them talking a little bit about that. Check it out.
Well, as an actor, villains are the most fun to play. They're the most exciting, and they're the most memorable to watch in television, movies, and theater. It's who you remember.
I was the day I found out I got the part of Divatox, I found out I was pregnant. So I had to wear a corset and a cape and high heels. So I was pissed off anyway. So it was a great way to scream and yell at people and get paid for it.
You channel that anger into your role.
Yeah, I always say it's great for going through menopause.
Wow.
I
can see Rita.
didn't know,
I can see Rita.
nobody knew Goldar was going to be much of a part. So about 16 shows in, Tony Oliver, the producer, called me and said, "You better figure out what you're doing with that voice because he's a big part." So that's why people ask me all the time, "What's the bit with the voice? Did somebody else do it originally?" And I wasn't really committing to it because I only had, a couple lines, maybe if that, and then it got big. So I went down in my basement and figured out how to make this voice thing work for a recording of sometimes up to an hour. But that wasn't your question. I digress. Villains are imperative. I mean, in any story, really, there's usually there's the good and the bad, and that creates the conflict. And they're way more fun than playing good guys. I mean, way more fun.
Yeah, I remember I was in Japan at a convention, and they were interviewing me about Power Rangers, and I said, "Yeah, I'm really one of the few lucky ones in Power Rangers because I got to kill a ranger, and it's never happened before." Looked at me and went,
Nice for you.
Yeah. And he went, "Oh, we kill one a week."
Well, that was the funny thing about the differences between the two series. They talk about the Uber nerds watched both. That was one of those series where you knew. Were you able to see both, Malcolm, both like the original versions and then the American versions, or were you just watching the North American versions?
I just watched. Because it's so I'm not good with dubbing. I like to pay attention to the action, and you telling me to read and do this. It's like trying to chew gum and tie my shoe at the same time. Like you got to do one or the other. But I've watched certain episodes. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch a little bit, the first few episodes. Let me see what the first 5 episodes look like compared to the first 5 episodes of actual Power Rangers. So I have done that, not with all of the seasons, but just a few here and there.
That's dope though. Yeah. I've never done that. I've only seen the American stuff.
And it's a wide comparison, like why?
Yeah.
Like
really?
The Japan is like, these people come from a long village of family and they grew up together. And then in America, it's like, these are 5 kids. They're
they don't even like each other. That's awesome.
There's a lot because they have more time to spread that story out.
Right. How many episodes is an average season in Japan?
Oh, it could be anywhere from 30 plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yo, that's not a season. That's a series.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And they're more violent too, right, Malcolm, in Japan?
Oh,
a little more violent.
They talk. Sometimes the enemy is the devil, literally.
Yeah. Wow.
And if you watch the first episode of Mighty Morphin compared to the first episode of Zero Ranger, which is the Mighty Morphin Japan counterpart, the Rita is not Rita Repulsa, it's Witch Bandora. She's a witch.
Wow.
And she's flying around on this bike, smiting people on the street. And then it took me later on when I got older to realize that's why we have all the running scenes. That's where they just cut those clips. And you
got you.
And at 6 years old, I wasn't like, hey, that's a Japanese person. I wasn't doing all
it's
that.
Just people. It was just people.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in the living room with my little McDonald's toys,
Yo, I had those from the movie. I had
man.
those.
Man,
I
we
had
went to
those.
every last McDonald's
Yeah.
in Mobile, Alabama. To
The white Falcon Ranger joint, which you pull back and it would just
man,
I had
look,
that.
I
I had
start
that.
crying.
In
It
the
was
Happy
the-
Meal.
Yeah, and the Happy Meal. Yeah, no, it was the Happy Meal. Again, you mentioned the Green Ranger arc sort of at the end, right?
Mhm.
It was that into the Happy Meal, into the movie that was really when I was like, oh, this is like a thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
this is
Yeah.
something other than just a Saturday morning cartoon that's only going to last. You know what I mean? For a
Right.
couple.
Looking
Now,
at the
toy sales, $6 billion plus in toy sales
That's
alone
crazy.
for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
That's
Incredible.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
looking at the comments, my brother Jeremy Evans said Green Ranger was downright abusive in Japan. He's not lying. Like,
Are you serious?
yes,
What?
it went past 5 episodes in Japan, and we just had the 5-episode arc of the Green Ranger.
Wow.
In Japan, he was like that for the majority of the season.
Yeah.
I gotta
Like
watch this.
from the time he on site, from the time he came on the show, he
Yo,
was
I
just
love
literally
it. I
just
love it.
beating people.
I'm
down.
wrecking shop. I'm
Just
wrecking shop.
You know, and that's
Green is mean. Say
The-
something.
and the big difference between America and Japan is in America, the green candle went out and Tommy
Right.
lost his powers. In Japan, Barat died.
Now I did know that. I did know that he died. Yeah,
He
that was
died.
like it was a
Yeah.
wrap. But
Yeah.
that's
Well, Martin,
brilliant.
Martin says the Green Ranger suit was a huge giveaway in the Japanese footage because it was darker and actually gave away.
It was
dark
more like a hunter green.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Then the
Yeah.
American suit, which didn't change, you know what I mean? It wasn't as obvious right in front.
Right.
Thomas, we're talking about the villains. Obviously, Thomas Donald Moore had a question back before we showed that first clip. For anybody on screen, obviously Malcolm might know best, but anyone who's seen the movie might have an answer for this question. How did they come up with the concept of Ivan Ooze? You know, we talked a little bit about this in the panel, and Paul talked about it a little bit, that it was it was intended to be humorous and like not a parody, you know what I mean? But it was intended to be funny. Like he was supposed to be evil and funny at the same time, but people didn't necessarily get that right at the time. They thought it was a little too hokey, a little too cheesy. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Ivan Ooze and like your original viewing of Ivan Ooze, Malcolm, and then kind of like how you feel looking back on it?
Man, Ivan Ooze was one of the most hilarious characters in Power Ranger history. Like
Yeah.
some of the stuff he was saying, just the quips and the lines, you know, especially when Tommy looks at him and says, "We're the Power Rangers." He said this with so much just strength and power. And he just looks at me, he's like, "Oh, the Power Rangers, where's my autograph book?" And I'm like, what is this? But Ivan Ooze was just for the movie. You never see
Yeah.
Ivan Ooze ever again.
Nope, that's
You
true.
know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you have a great character like that, just do the one-off and keep on rolling. Because then
That's
you try
true.
to do now. If he come back in the comics or something, I wouldn't mind that, but I wouldn't want to see anybody redo Ivan Ooze.
Right. No, I always thought he was like he was the Freddy Krueger of Power Ranger villains because
Yes.
he was
Good
definitely
comparison.
deadly, but he made fun of you the whole time. You know,
Yeah.
oh, you kids, meet my kids. Like that was
Meet my
just- those are some of the greatest lines for no reason. Like, why is that funny? It just is. It just
was.
is.
It was scary at age 5, but
Oh, no doubt.
30-year-old, as 30-year-old, it's hilarious.
Chance, thoughts on the movie or any villains that stick out to you? We're about to see a clip of more of them kind of talking about their work as villains, but yeah.
Got to be Goldar because of that connection to my childhood heart.
Yeah.
Like that.
And I'm glad you got him on the show. It was great to hear those anecdotes
That's
from
awesome.
a performer's point of view. And that's the great thing about Wizard World experiences, these virtual experiences. They're great. And I want to buy some time because I got a lot of questions that I want answered.
That's awesome.
They only scratch the surface.
Yeah,
And,
but it was interesting to hear Kerrigan talk about that it wasn't supposed to be a big character in terms of the North American series, and then they're like, nope, we're going with. So he didn't try, which is hilarious,
Right.
You know. And people are always like, what was up with the voice? Was that you? And he's like, yeah, that was me. I just wasn't.
I didn't
he told
know.
me- He told me it was a one-off or a 2-episode thing, and then they're like, no,
And
you're a main character. Make it good.
If you listen to a lot of those, actors, especially ones I've met, a lot of the things that went on were not supposed to continue.
Mm,
For an example, once the Green Ranger lost his powers, Jason David Frank was not supposed to come back.
right.
It's just
right.
a lot of things that were not supposed to continue, but you know, you really wouldn't have it any other way with Power Rangers, like, you know, now as a whole.
Right.
Yeah. Let's listen into some more of these villains. A couple people are asking about when these one-on-one chats are, which is great. Everyone's getting excited. They're like, I gotta speak to these folks. So they are happening this Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. But again, you can always kind of schedule with our customer service, and as long as we can get it in, we'll try to. But that's when they begin on this Saturday. So you still have a chance, whether you're watching this right now or you're watching it Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Definitely take advantage of those one-on-one chats there, man. It looks like Chance has got his wallet out already. He's purchased a couple. Let's take a look. There's so many villains on this panel. It was amazing. We got to a bunch of them. We can't show everything, but here is starting off with Ilya talking about Master Org, a little bit about what it takes to be a good villain from an actor's standpoint, which I know we were talking about a little bit. So take a look.
I think I approach it as from the actor's point of view, because you look always when you play a bad guy, you try to find what's good about him. You know, you try to find a vulnerability, you try to find kindness, because it was already written as a bad guy. So if you play cliche of a bad guy, there's nowhere to go. So that's what's interesting for me. And if you have the foundation, then the rest will take care of itself, you know, because that's why I think, you know, I was getting, by the way, I started realizing that this show is really big when I got, you know, a couple of letters, one from Spain, you know, when they were asking Master Org, where is your headquarters, you know? So
that's brilliant.
I realized not necessarily from the paycheck that the show was big.
People always knocking on Saban with the
amount of
everybody stabs at Saban, man, even the X-Men cast.
But, you know, coming back to the, you know, the playing, you know, the bad guy, it's the danger always when you, I guess, and depending on the script, how it's written, but the danger is, you know, in playing a bad guy always can be in approaching it as a just typical, stereotypical, you know, bad guy. But you have to look for, and, you know, that particular writing for that season had that, you know, the backstory of the Master Org when he was a human, and that also, that helped. But overall, it was a great experience. I've never had to do anything like that. Even since then, that character was pretty unique.
That's awesome.
Definitely. Same question for Miss Melody.
This is my favorite part, Malcolm. You catch Melody.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry. I was multitasking. I'm so sorry.
You failed my class. You failed my math class. What do you think?
Well, and this is, and listen, Melody's great. She obviously got caught. It's a big panel. But fan favorite astronomer. Here's her about her villain.
Of course, your brother in the series was the Red Ranger, and he was always trying to tap into you and be like, "No, you're my sister. You're my." After a while, they got aggravating to me as a kind of like, okay, that's your sister. What are you gonna do about it? But for you, what do you think makes a great question? A great villain? I'm sorry, and I missed it.
Well, I feel like when I first started playing Astronomer, I was just trying to keep up. Like that was my main goal, was just to be able to act through the day. I feel like I had really big shoes to fill with Hillary, Diva Talks, Rita. It was like, oh my God. And my first scene was with all of these monsters and villains, and it was so intimidating. But I would say in hindsight, it takes sort of internal conflict, maybe. Like something else happening. I don't know. There, you kind of have to have your angle, I think. Yeah. But for Astronomer, it was definitely the choice between being good and evil and being able to see that through.
She was probably like the first one out of them that really had that kind of double story. You know, it started off as a villain, became a fan villain, and then was good in the next season, right?
Right. Yeah. We went from a villain to an actual Power Ranger.
In space. Yeah. And then in the Lost Galaxy, that's right. She became pink.
Yeah.
Nice.
And people that was a turning point for the series, I think. You know, it was very over the top, Super Sentai, right, style, like big, colorful. And then you know, those seasons in Space and Lost Galaxy is when they really started to take that turn and have these like kind of like soap pretty opera. Well written, story. Yeah, like
hardcore.
You said it, soap opera style. Edward Bova says Astronomer is the hottest thing on Power Rangers ever. Big fan favorite.
I don't know about that.
All right. Who you got? Who you got? Who's your favorite? Malcolm?
I don't know if we're going from this era talking about this panel. Deep Talks or something serious.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Not wrong.
You're not wrong.
It's some fan favorites out there. That's all I'm gonna say.
That is
She
true.
had a good reign. She had a good reign. She had a movie too. Astronomer didn't have a movie. And
That's true.
Yeah.
Chance, you were kind of like perking up when Melody was talking just about the role of Astronema. Something stick out to you in terms of that specific villain?
No, I just like the performance.
Yeah,
That's simple.
yeah.
And I like her voice. I just like everything about her. And she's 20 years old. The woman doesn't age
at all.
It's crazy. That's great. And one, she had an interesting thing. And again, if you haven't seen the full panel, go back and watch the entire thing, because we're barely scratching the surface here. We're just nerding out because we're geeks. But the panel was awesome. She talked a lot about not even realizing, again, that she hasn't gone to a lot of cons and conventions. I know.
Wild.
Yeah. And I know that Hillary mentioned it. She was like, she avoided it for a long time. She went to a con, she had like a line down the block, and she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize. Like, I didn't realize the villains and my specific villain would be so popular.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
the same thing with Melody. Melody was like, yeah, I didn't realize. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if she turns things around once we get back to physical conventions and start showing up again, because she's been in demand, Malcolm, right? I mean, I know that you get, you know, obviously Kerrigan and Barbara, they've done a lot of conventions, you know.
They go everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you who's really starting to go everywhere now. Book and Skull. They are
man,
road.
huge.
I have a video in my phone where Paul Schreier took my phone from after we took a picture and recorded a video in from. I've not deleted it yet. That's been almost 2 years.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
People are talking in the chat about the team ups, because you mentioned quickly, Malcolm, about like characters returning. You know what I mean? So obviously, big one was JDF. You know, Green Ranger coming back like throughout.
Which time?
I know. Please, I've said this before. We had JDF at our shows a ton back in the day at Wizard World. Victor will remember. You know, dude knows how to market himself. That's all I will say. You know what I mean? And he committed to it. You know, a lot of actors would be like, "Oh, that was just some stupid thing I did back when I was young for a few years." No, he embraces the fandom of Power Rangers. That's the
hard.
Yeah. And it brought himself back a ton. Malcolm, what are your feelings on the team ups? Everbo was talking a little bit about talking about the Ninja Turtles team up, the Frankenstein team up.
That was basically 90s in essence.
Right.
You had to always bring one thing together and another thing together. It just made perfect sense. There was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show on Fox Kids, Power Rangers on Fox Kids. Okay, let's combine them. You know, we got Beetleborgs, we got Power Rangers. Let's combine them.
Do it.
We got VR Troopers. We got Power Rangers. Let's combine them.
I remember buying the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book in 1983.
Stop.
That's how old I am. That's how old I am.
Wow.
Eastman and Laird, baby.
You still have it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, hold on to that.
Hopefully, I was gonna say, hopefully it's not just like shoved in the middle of one of those long boxes.
No, it's very well protected. It's very well protected.
You know what? That wouldn't be a bad place to put it to keep anything on the outside.
That's real.
That's funny. Christine's asking, hey, Mike, I have a question for you. How do you get into all these panels and able to interview actors? That's a great question, Christine. It's sort of not completely related to what we're talking about here, but in the sense of, you know what? And I think I can speak for all four of us, but anyone who wants to chime in, we all just started out as geeks and nerds, and we just kept showing up. You know what I mean? At things and
100%.
Talking about those. You have to be able to talk, which I'm sure everyone watching can see that we all have the gift of gab here. But as long as you keep showing up and are willing to talk about it, I know my biggest thing is like go to a con, get in as a panelist. Just talking about anything you want. You often get free passes to the convention. I can't speak for every convention, but I know at Wizard World, if you want to do a panel, we'll give you free passes. You get to go to the con for free, which is awesome. And all you got to do is give 45 minutes of your nerdiest topic. You know what I mean? And that's how you get started. And then eventually someone sees you and says, oh man, and then it works, you know, like the entertainment business works. You know, someone sees you, says, oh, you sounded awesome. I love that. You know what I mean? And then kind of just trickles up. But yeah, right.
It's like the literal blueprint for all this.
That's it.
There's no lie there. None whatsoever. Yeah.
Giving away the secret sauce. I love it.
Right?
We come back next week. You guys are all replaced with like Christine and everyone.
Hey, still sharp and steel, man. That's what it takes.
Hey,
that's what it takes.
Christine is doing part section 6.
Exactly.
A dot paragraph B, making yourself visible.
That's right. That's right.
Christine, honestly, she said, sorry, I'm on the Geek Week committee at my college and would love to pick your brain further. We will have Geek Week on, Christine. Just
awesome.
DM us. I'm Mike G. I don't mind giving out my email. MikeG@wizardworld.com. That's how this all starts, is just, word of mouth and friends coming in and hanging out together. So again, MikeG@wizardworld.com. That's for anybody watching. If you want to do a panel and host a panel here, we'll host it for you, and we'll see where it goes after that. But thanks for the question. All right, let's watch this last clip, and then we have one final question from one of our fans watching, Skyhound 008, asking which villain stood out for you all as a kid. So I'm gonna let you all think about it. I'm gonna give you some time. So pick your favorite villain. Not necessarily favorite villain, but just one that sticks out to you the most.
Right.
While we watch this clip of all of them running through their favorite lines, their favorite moments. It's a pretty long clip, but it's worth it because they all kind of get a little moment talking about their favorite moments. So this is your Power Ranger villains talking about their favorite lines and favorite moments.
It was great because when I first did the second movie, and they just let me go wild. I had been in the Groundlings doing comedy improv and all that, and they just let me say whatever came to my head. And I got to talk to the prop department. I said, I want to make her really vain. These things were not in the script. So like make me some makeup stuff, and I want to read like Space Vogue, and I think that got cut out. But so that was just thrilling for me because whatever came into my head, I would just let it fly. And one of them was Viva La Diva, which became like a huge thing. And now there's some housewife from New York who just wrote a song called Viva La Diva. I'm going to sue her.
Anybody else? That's right. That's how evil
like
she
we're
is.
all very familiar with saying destroy them. Like I think I said destroy them probably 400 times.
Same.
But I loved it.
That's right.
I like calling Robert a what was it, a radiator face or something, shut up, whatever, some car part. And also, I had such a headache was a good one.
Right. She did.
There were so many.
So you think she's pretty cute too?
There it is.
Look at me trying to keep it together.
Look at you. You're trying so hard. That smile hurts. I know that feeling.
Time change. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, the phone call between us. I love that. I also got paid for a little part, and that was a great thing too.
I think mine was when we did the episode with my daughter was in love with the Green Ranger. And I spent the whole episode going, don't touch the Green Ranger. Every time something, don't touch the Green Ranger.
It's a real statement.
My daughter was in love with him. It's like, good God.
Mr. Volok, what was one of your favorite lines that you
Wow, yeah, that I will destroy you. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to iconic lines for me, Mr. Freeman, man, the Power Rangers, where's my autograph book? Or, oh, the things I've missed, the French Inquisition, the whole just phrasing.
Like, how did he even know about those things if he missed them? I always had that question.
Yeah, that was you set the tone in a sense when it came to phrases, because you were hilarious. You were supposed to be a villain, but you were hilarious that whole movie. It was just all the quips and the quick-wittedness of it all. What was some of your favorite lines?
Well, thanks for saying that, but I can't take any credit for it. It was the script, and the script, Ivan's part was incredibly funny and very well written. In fact, the first draft I got, which I had to tape an audition in London and send it to Australia, was even funnier because he was a real shapeshifter. At one point he became a woman, another point he became black. Whatever you liked, he could do it. Finally,
That's
I think
awesome.
that's complicated to include in the movie. It was cut down a bit, pared down.
We need
But a lot
that
of
version.
lines just like that, so I
Forget the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. I want that version.
I want Black Avenue.
allowed to go in any direction I want. I really didn't have anybody controlling it. It was rather like Hillary said. As long as you provided something, they were very happy to go along with it.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That was great. I love that.
And a lot of stuff, of course, not being American, not ever having seen the Power Rangers, I didn't understand half the gags anyway. So I had to sort of have some attitude and make it up. I mean, I'd never seen the Brady Bunch reunion. When I got out of the egg, having a Charlie horse, I had to be told what that was, you know.
I love this like fine British actors speaking about.
Right. What's a Charlie horse? What
I did not know what a McDonald's sandwich is.
McRib? What?
That was an added villain for I think just for the movie, because he was never in any other
talking about the
outside
pig
of the movie or a TV show.
Yeah.
I wish they would have kept the others.
Never understood that, and why the other two weren't included.
Not Bulk and Skull.
No,
my guys.
Spot and Babu.
Spot and Babu.
Yeah, definitely. Miss Diane, do you have any famous lines that you can remember?
My son. I was obsessed with my son. That's about it.
Awesome.
I wanted to add something to what Elia had talked about villains. I think that two things actually. The thing about villains is that I loved what Elia said, because George R.R. Martin from Game of Thrones, I've been reading his interviews because I'm writing a novel, and he said, that he wanted to make sure that every character in Game of Thrones was good and bad. Everybody is gray, varying shades of gray. And I think that's true, that you have to find, and other people were saying too about villains, that you have to find what's good in them, what you love. Hitler did not think of himself as a villain.
Right.
He thought he was saving Germany, that's what he thought. He thought he was saving Germany. He was a crusader.
As well as many other people.
Yes.
Right.
Those who shall not be named.
Yeah.
And this is why,
that was the most firepower I ever heard.
Man.
Well,
that's when the whole panel takes like a turn.
And this is why, and again, it reiterates the point that Malcolm made a bunch of times in the panel, that villains are the key to the series. You know what I mean? I mean, you can just hear the actors and the effort. They didn't write it off. They didn't just this is a stupid little thing. They all put a lot of time into it and thought and process into it. And so did the writers. You know what I mean? And what can come across? Yeah, go. Yeah, what are you gonna say, Malcolm?
I want to say that Ilya Volok is not getting the credit he deserves. I looked up his IMDb, and any type of video game you might have played, any type of anything that required a Russian stand-in or actor, this man has played it.
Wow.
Look at his IMDb. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. It's extensive. Of
course.
Then he said he's gonna be playing Vladimir Putin on the Boondocks. I'm like, you gonna be on the Boondocks?
Wow.
Yeah, he said it. I was like,
that's
okay.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Gentlemen, we are out of time, but I want to get to that final question. Quick reminder to the fans watching now, watching live, bunch of you hanging out in the chat. This was so cool. Kristen's like, I miss cons. This was so fun just to nerd out, even if it was digital in a chat. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget, you can get those one-on-one video chats. They're going to happen this Saturday, the 21st. And so head to Wizard World Virtual, wizardworldvault.com to take advantage of those. They're doing video recorded messages, autographs, which are key for these characters because of just the unique, photos that they have, and then their sounds of their voices. Video recorded messages for the holidays is a huge gift. So take care of yourself, take care of a loved one. We're so excited to be sharing these experiences with you all. So again, head to Wizard World Vault. There's also a lot of works of art and memorabilia from past conventions up there from our favorite artists and vendors. So take advantage of them, support them. They're also out of work and out of business, not having these cons.
It's true.
And so that's the best virtual space to help them out. Couple quick things. Michael Ryan Fontanilla says Scorpions, my first villain crush. Astronema's my #1 villain crush. Goldar's my favorite villain. Rancic, my favorite story arc. So nice job, Michael. You covered four of your favorite villains. A couple other shout outs to random villains. I want to go around the room. I want you to say, again, the villain that had the most influence on you, and then let everybody know about your socials, your podcasts, your blogs, your websites, and where we can find you. My name is Mike G. You can follow me at Mike G Does Things. Email me, Mike G at Wizard World, if you have a panel idea. I'm the director of programming here at Wizard World. We appreciate you hanging out on Wizard World Rewatch Wednesdays. I'm going to start with Lord Zedd. Lord Zedd, I was a huge He-Man fan and G.I. Joe fan at the time. And I know he's an OG choice and it's an easy choice, but something about his style as like top villain and just the look reminded me of like Cobra Commanders, those types of villains at the time. And so I always go back to Lord Zedd. And so he was kind of like the standout villain for me.
Well said.
Yeah, Victor, why don't you take it?
Victor Danbridge, Hardest Recommended Comics. You can follow me at Vantage In-House. You can also look up You Create Comics, which is the letter U, CRE, the number 8, comics.com, where I'm using comic books to help with classroom fundamentals. So if you've got a student that might be struggling on reading or writing, use comic books, changes everything. I would have said Lord Zedd, but I'm definitely going to say Ivan Ooze because Ivan was, I mean, they were neck and neck really for me. And Ivan just kind of took things over the top. I'm a huge, Freddy Krueger fan, and Ivan being that same sort of style of bad guy, perfect.
Awesome. Thanks, Victor. Chance?
I am King Goldar! Lord Zedd was on my list too, but I've got to go with Goldar for obvious reasons I stated before, but Kerrigan Mayhem, I just have tremendous respect for these voice talents and the stuntmen and everyone that worked on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And you can find us at Nostalgic Podblast at nostalgicpodblast.com. Here's our logo, and we're on live every Sunday from 3:30 till about 5, about a 90-minute show. And again, it's the clips and it's the content and the guests that make it worth your time. And we have contests. We're going to give away Wonder Woman, the classic Linda Carter series, in anticipation of the new movie Wonder Woman 1984. It'll be out hopefully later this year, hopefully at Christmas time, holiday season.
Yep.
And we're
that was announced.
All the DVDs. So
nice.
Join us. We have a trivia question. Just answer the question and the prize is yours. Thanks for letting me be a part of this. And I love watching all of y'all. Nice to meet you, Malcolm, Victor. And thanks again, Mike, for the opportunity.
Yeah, of course, Chance. Thanks, man. And last but not least, the Power Ranger fan in the room, the head Power Ranger fan in the room. Let's Malcolm, tell us about Fandoms Anonymous and your favorite villain.
I'm gonna go with Power Rangers with Ecliptor. Ecliptor, because he was a tortured soul. He was a servant of Astronema, but he also had her since she was a little girl when she got taken away from her brother Andros from planet KO-35. That's a deep cut, but yeah. So I'm gonna go with Ecliptor because he played that role of, I got to be her general, but I also care about her as a child. And even when she made the choice to go back, he understood and sacrificed himself. So got to go with Ecliptor. But guys, we are Fandoms Anonymous. It's right there on the wall. That's FANDOMSANONYMOUS. We're all over social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok when I feel like it. You can catch us at cons when they start again. So yeah, definitely we appreciate all of you guys. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody. It was where I enjoy being here.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm staying. Nice. Yeah, Chance, what's up?
Just forgot to mention we're on YouTube and Facebook, Nostalgic Podblast. Enough said.
I've already joined.
Nice. Cool. Shout out to Jazz, who's been hanging out in the chat, dropping those links and everything. She's our social media maven. Shout out to Jerry Milani, our director of PR. Stream us out tonight. On behalf of Wizard World, this has been Wizard World Virtual Experiences Rewatch Wednesdays. We will see you this weekend. We've got Hercules. Hercules. I don't know why I said it like it was from the Nutty Professor. No, we have Hercules: The Legendary Journeys coming up this week. In addition to what other panels did we announce? Let's see.
Turtles.
Yeah, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original movie, coming out. We're gonna rewatch our Pirates of the Caribbean panel in just a bit. So keep following us and check us out. And we'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night.